Welcome to the Champion Blueprint Podcast, where mindset meets mission.
We're diving into what it really takes to lead, win, and live with purpose.
From NFL locker rooms to boardrooms, it's all about discipline, core values, and the habits that build champions.
Whether you're leveling up in business, life, or leadership, this is your playbook.
Champion your mindset.
Champion your purpose.
Let's go.
Back once again, Champion Blueprint Podcast. So grateful to be here. George Rogers, as always, to the left, the champ himself.
Let's go.
Gary Brackett. How we feeling today, my friend?
Man, I'm feeling great, man. It's always interesting in Indiana when the weather breaks, not to get excited too soon, right?
Yeah.
It's been a little bit of that spring weather, man, so it feels good to be warm outside, getting back into the groove of things. So kids are winding down on school, so life is good.
Yeah, I was literally just was talking to a few people as I was traveling. They were like, where you from? And I'm like, Indiana. And they were like, oh, Midwest. So you got a lot of snow here and there. And I was like, we get a lot of everything, especially like mid-March to the third, fourth week of April. We get all four seasons within a week. And so you can go from 75, 80 to about 55, all within a 12-hour period. Like if you don't like it, just chill, relax. Your fall season is going to come if you're a fall person. Little sprinkles and, spring showers, is going to come right before Mayflowers, the whole adage. And so the weather really can change and be inconsistent at times.
Right.
And really, this is really kind of where we're going today. We talked a couple of weeks ago, Gary, 2 episodes ago, about March Madness. And we talked about different things that's happened in the past, how teams, the buzzer beaters, have the belief in those small town teams that really develop. But today we're going to take something that was really pivotal in the conversation and really kind of just break it out. And that's really, how do you turn pressure into power? And again, as always, we talk about these things, not just in a sports way, but also in life and business, because we all deal with pressure in some type of way, whether it's you're a leader of a team, whether you're on a team and you're the one that has the skill set, right? I always talk about how, being that one person that's on the team that doesn't really do anything, but you get an A because you're part of the great group.
Right? Bryce James.
And so, shout out to Bryce James, Arizona. The Wildcats are doing some great things and had an incredible season as well. And right now, it's not March Madness anymore, although the madness is still happening. April, the Final Four, held in Indianapolis. Incredible. Listen, if there is one place that can put on events and sports events, there's nothing like our city, Indianapolis. Do an incredible job, whether it's with the NFL and the Combine, hosting a Super Bowl before NBA All-Star games, just for the NBA men and women, being able to do that. And for the first time ever this past weekend, all 4 divisions championships was done here in Indianapolis with D1, D2, D3, D4, those championships just going on. But Gary, let's talk a little bit about this because you dealt with a lot of pressure.
Right.
I've dealt with a lot of pressure. People are listening to us, are watching us right now. You've been under some form of pressure in life, whether it's personal, family, business. You've been in that ship, as we like to talk about, whatever that ship is. What are some of the things that you can call out when it comes to dealing with pressure and how to really handle that yourselves as we break this down a little bit today?
I think sometimes when pressure situations occur, some people who haven't been there before, they get real nervous. And I think for me, it's just relying on the fact that I've sometimes experienced success in this arena before. I don't have to do anything extraordinary that I've not already been doing. I just have to perform at the level that I'm capable of, like consistently.
Yeah.
And, you see even in sports at a younger age, it's a big game, so your star player starts trying to do too much. Like, you never done that before. Like, what are we doing? Like, dude, if we play how we're capable of playing, if each man plays how they're capable of playing, we'll be fine. Yeah. And that's what I'm, like, reminded most of pressure situations. Like, it doesn't take a Herculean effort from people, right? Yep. It just takes someone to do it exactly what they've been doing this whole time, but just locking in and doing it at their highest level. Yeah,
it's interesting because some people rise to that occasion, right? And a lot of people fold underneath that pressure. Yeah. Shout out to Brandon down in Greenfield, Indiana. Oh, my God. With the UConn out of nowhere. Huge of course, shot. Elite Eight, a couple of weeks ago, Elite Eight. Had an incredible shot. And for me, Gary, it was not the shot that won them the game that really impressed me the most. Yeah. It was the composure and the defense, right? The defense is what gave them the opportunity, right? So he had that steal. They were in a pressure situation in the zone, and he was able to tilt the ball, get the ball, pass it up, and then position himself, right? So just breaking down that one play from Braylon is just composure, number one, right? Positioning yourself, number two, and then being able to put yourself again in another position from an offensive mindset is something that is important. For me, when we talk about pressure, and one of the key things you talked about is that pressure is not necessarily the impact of it. It's preparation.
Yeah.
Right. And so some people feel it as pressure. Some people feel it as opportunity. Some people feel it as pressure. And some people say this is potential, right? This is where my preparation has come into play for me to be able to activate not necessarily what I do, but what I prepared myself to do, right? For that moment. So the opportunity is here. How is it about, what is it about preparation that gets you ready for that moment? Because some people try to win it all. You talk about, you know, as a star player, you're trying to do too much at times, rather than sticking with the system, sticking with the strategy, sticking with the game plan, and not going outside of there and acting like, and not even, I don't want to say acting like, but preparing like you've been there before, right? Those moments.
Just breaking down that play, just staying there. He got the steal. He passed it along, and in his interview, he said to someone who made the shot, and he was a little far out, right? But he didn't just sit there and spectate.
Yeah.
He then got himself prepared if the ball would return, that he knew what to do with it.
Yeah.
And I think that's so critical, especially in business, because you see big opportunities come up, and you see sometimes like, well, all right, this guy has to have it, but what if he's not there that day?
Yeah.
Or you know, what if he's on a call with someone else? So I feel like I feel like in my situation and in life in general, I will always rather have been prepared and not have the opportunity than to have the opportunity and not be prepared.
Yeah, that's good.
Right? And I think, you know, a lot of times people are training, they're doing stuff, and people will ask Tom Brady probably before he got the start and nod, and he was the backup, like, why are you training so hard? Why are you doing these things? You're not playing this week. You're like, hey, you never know.
Yeah.
But then when his opportunity came, he was prepared. So I always say in football, there was a saying, you're an ankle sprain away from being a starter. And a lot of times in life, you're a heart attack away. You're a death in the family away. You're something away from being that person.
What I love most about that play, as I think about, is that he respected the game so much that he earned that moment. Right? Some people just take the moment. I think about like the Kobe's, the Jordans. They take that moment. Like they're not going to let it pass them by. They're going to take that moment. And then for me, like I love the mentality of like an Oscar Robertson, a LeBron James, a Magic Johnson, where they may get that moment, but the respect of the game is always what's the right play, right? And sometimes the right play doesn't get you that pressure, right? I think that's when you talk about the GOAT, you know, argument between Jordan and LeBron, a lot of that is because Jordan took it, right? But what Braylon did and how he stay composed and put himself in a position to receive the back, he earned that moment. Yeah. Right. And it started with the defense making the right play. And because he made the right play, the opponents then had to respect where the ball was moving. And it left him open. And I ain't saying that was a good that was a deep three. It wasn't like he was on the line. That was logo. Yeah. That was logo. And so like in life, whenever there's pressure that you're feeling in life, we're saying prepare for those moments. Right. Prepare before it happens, right? Like opportunity comes, it's too late to prepare. You got to be ready. And he was ready, and he earned that moment by putting himself in the right position, but also respecting what they had already practiced, right? They always gone over. The second thing that I want to talk about underneath this pressure, Gary, and I use this a lot. And I come to not like this quote, but I respect it as well. It's like in life and in work, you got to control the controllables. And I tell you why I used to love it. When the retail, it was like, when you had control, as a leader, when you have control, it's easy to say control the controllables. Yeah. Because you're controlling everything, right? You're controlling the temperature of the room. You're controlling the direction, the inventory, the vision. Yeah. But when you're on the other side of that table, right? Yeah. And so I remember in 2018, we had 18 retail stores and we had sold them to a gentleman out in Elkhart, him and his partner. And all the owners had, kind of pulled away. Kyle did 3 months transition, and I said, I'll do 6 months. Ended up doing like a year. Yeah. And as the time went on, I realized what I used to be able to control.
Yeah, you couldn't anymore.
I couldn't anymore. It wasn't mine. It wasn't my friends. It wasn't my partners that were with me. I was just on this island, and I realized controlling the controllables became a different mindset for me. And so I want to talk about these two things. Number one, as a leader, control the controllables. How do we impact and be able to set people up for success? And then as an employee, sometimes control the controllables interpretates check the box.
Yeah.
Right. So talk a little bit about the control the controllables from an entrepreneur, from an owner mindset, and the importance of being able to, or even a leader, right, and being able to do and handle situations under pressure.
There was just a stat that LeBron James just overtook another record. I think the most games played.
Yeah.
And I think he took it from Robert Patrick. And then what they talked about, Gilbert Arenas on his show, was that like he didn't play, he dominated. So even if someone would have taken his record, I wouldn't just put an asterisk. He just played. He dominated these games. Yeah. So when
still putting up 20, 25,
So when you're saying controllables, you talking about checking the boxes. There's a way that you go about your work as if like it matters.
Yeah.
As if an opportunity came up, that work is like if you're a numbers person and you've been like doing data and back office stuff and preparations and due diligence on deals, on opportunities. Well, if the deal comes up, if you've done your job at an expert level, right? If you control those controllables, you are confident, you are prepared to go into that meeting. If you just check the box and you just haphazardly did the work, and then it came in and just like, do I got to check that number? Is that real? Right? Yeah. So I think it's just the way in which you go about your business, not only controlling the controllables, I like better dominating the controllables. Like making the controllables your advantage because, you know what I'm saying, you went above and beyond to process that work.
Yeah. So when you're talking, how you're explaining it for those who are listening, what he's saying is, listen, control what you can control. What can we control? There's a few things. Number one, I can control the energy.
Right.
When I can't control fully the outcome of the direction, the vision, or the strategy of what we're doing from a business standpoint, from an operation standpoint, I can't control the energy that I bring to the room.
Sure.
The other thing I can control is my preparation.
Yeah.
Now, for me, my name means more to me than anything, right? So I want to make sure that George Rogers, whether we fail or succeed, George Rogers prepared and showed up. Right. And so that has to mean something to you. Right. And that was something that was installed to me at a young age by my grandma. Like, don't mess up my family name.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've done a lot of great things to be able to build this up. And so your name means everything. And I would always say this: when you leave a company, is your name still good? Right? Did you plant the seeds? Did you show up? Did you prepare? And so like prepare for those things. The energy that you have is something that can control. And I think more importantly in everything, we talk about this word a lot, Gary, especially in every ship that you're in, communication. Yeah. I can control how I communicate. Yep. I can control what I communicate. I can control the types of communication. If I'm a leader of a team, I need to know how Gary speaks. Like what speaks to Gary? Is it an email? Is it, he wants to be warned or he wants to be updated prior to having the conversation? Right. So Gary, here's XYZ. Let's talk about these things. So he's prepared. And so being able to speak the language of your people, your team, your business is a huge thing. So when you control the controllables, as Gary said, don't just check the box. Control the controllables means communication. It means preparation. It means the energy that you're bringing to the table. Yeah,
no question. It just goes back. I know you heard the saying, any job worth doing is worth doing well.
Yeah, that's good.
Right. So doing those things well at a level that's gonna like set you up for success.
Yeah. And to me, that says, George, don't win the game, just win the moment. Right. That's something I learned from you, both on the field and off the field, is the mentality of, listen, the game is going to take care of itself. Sure. Respect it enough to just win that moment, the next play.
Yep.
Right? What do you see? How do you adapt to those situations? What's the next opportunity? What's the next meeting going to look like? How are you going to prepare for that next meeting? What are you going to bring to that next meeting versus just saying, hey, here's another meeting that could have been email? How can you make an impact and add value to those things that could make it better, right? Stepping outside the box and winning that moment. I think that's something that's so pivotal in controlling the controllables is, how do I win the moment? The game will take care of itself, right, but how can I win this moment?
And then this is the next step, not letting that moment and the outcome of that moment dictate the rest of your day. Some people say, oh, I had a bad day. Like, you had a bad day? What happened?
Yeah. The whole day?
Like
you were asleep for 16 hours.
You had a bad conversation.
Yeah.
Like, the rest of the day was great.
Yeah.
So putting things in perspective, like, no, like, I tried to win that moment. It didn't go the way I went, but these moments did, right? Because then I would, like, in sports and in football, I would run through every hole like bats in the cave. Like there's going to be opposition on the other side. Even if there wasn't, I never was going to let up and say, all right, no one's in here. Let me just go in here and check the box. Like someone would come run through my face. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I went there like, yo, bats in the cave. Let's go.
Yeah.
Right? So then from task to task, I'm bats in the cave. Let's go. Right? You know what I'm saying? And I think that always gives you your moment to be at your best. And like you said, dominate those controllables.
Yeah. So let's move to another area because, and I'm interested in this. When was the first time, Gary, for you, whether it's on the field or in business, where you realized you had to control your body? And what I mean by this is that sometimes under pressure, and you'll see it at free throw lines, crowd is shouting, making noise, especially in college. You got crazy things happening in the stands, kids walking down full underwear. I don't know if you've seen some of those crazy things. They're doing all noisemakers, all these crazy things happening, and you airball. Now that's on the sports field. In life, you got all these different things going on, the projects, ready to be presented, and you forgot your laptop. Presentation, they pulling up. The sound isn't working. Something is happening. And in your body, you feel tense. The pressure, right? Mm-hmm. And before it's mental, it's sometimes physical. How do you control your body in a sense of finding peace in the midst of all this noise? And you have to win the moment.
It's tough, right? Because we're both the same, cut from the same cloth. Like you wear your emotions on your sleeve. Yeah. So you can tell I'm excited. You can tell them. So I try to regulate that. I can remember at Rutgers, I talked about before, 6 wins in 4 years, so a lot of character building. Yep. This particular game, we're in West Virginia, and we got waxed. I mean, BTA, right? I mean, 70-14 was the score, right? I had 23 tackles because we were on defense. So every Saturday,
shout out to Brackett with the 22 tackles.
Bro, so we would watch Sunday. I would go and I would watch film with my coach, and he was like, it was like the third quarter, fourth, we're losing 60-7, and I loafed on a play, and the guy ran and scored, and he rewind the play. He's like, "What's this?" I'm like, "What are you talking about?" It was like, "What you changed speed right here? Like you loafed. You could have made that tackle." I'm like, "I had 23 tackles." Like, and I'm not talking about the game. I'm talking about this particular play. Yeah. What did you do? He was like, "What if an NFL scout turned the game on this play? What if your future wife turned the game on this play? Is this something you want to live with? Is this something you want to put on film? Is something and it just like really broke me down to like,
wow."
So then I was thinking, like, every time I don't want to do something, I'm like, damn, what if my kids are watching me? What if my kids show? What if something important to me, you know what I'm saying, shows up in this moment at that time? So that's why I really try to lock in and really just try to act with the mindset like, yo, this could be the first time somebody heard me speak. This could be the first time somebody heard me present. Somebody heard me share this opportunity, and I just want to make sure that I give it my best.
That's powerful because it's true. You never know who's watching.
Yeah.
You never know who's watching, and sometimes, that perspective of that one thing, that one play, that one moment, that one meeting, that one call. Again, controlling the controllables, your energy that you bring, how you communicating, right? How did you prepare for those things? Those things can impact everything. Oh. Because for me, it's the foundation. I know for me, Gary, there was a moment where I was speaking, and it's funny, I've been speaking all over, but this particular speaking engagement was in a retail store, and I'd never done TV. And so shout out to Scott down at Fox. He came to our Avon store at this time. And I'm like, it's nothing different, TV. Yeah. Man, the cameras got on there, we're in our retail store, and all of a sudden I'm standing there, and I'm thinking like, it's cool. Man, my legs start bouncing for no reason. I'm like, what in the world is going on? Here I am thinking I'm about to pass out. Yeah. Like I done spoken in front of thousands of people, hundreds of people, dozens. Yeah. I done seen every room that you can see. And I'm literally here with 4 people. 3 of them are my teammates, and then Scott and the camera guy. I'm like, what in the world is wrong with this moment? Yeah, yeah. And it was at that moment where I realized it doesn't matter the size of the room. If you don't prepare, you never, and you don't find peace in those situations. Now, for me, I think it was nervous because I was like, man, what if I fumble? This is going to be on TV. Like in the back of my mind. And so, but physically I wasn't there. And so I always say this, and one of the things I enjoyed, and Ryan McCarty actually taught me this. Him and his wife, Katara. And she had created, during COVID, she had created this app called Exhale for Black women and women of color to be able to handle like well-being and mental health. But one of the things that they both taught me was the impact of like breathing. And I never heard of box breathing, never thought of box breathing. But here I am 6 years later, and I talk about this all the time. When somebody's dealing with anxiety, whenever somebody's dealing with pressure and they just like can't find themselves at peace, is box breathing is a very simple tool. And I use it for basketball, coaching sixth grade travel ball. It's like every time somebody's at the free throw line, their responsibility before they come up to the line is to make sure they look at me.
Yep.
I just want to see their eyes, because if their eyes tell me one thing, I'm going to say breathe. Yeah. And they know deep breath, 4 seconds, let it out 4 seconds, inhale. You're right. And so box breathing, check out box breathing if you don't know much about it, but it really helps, especially for somebody like me who had a heart attack in 2013. And so any type of palpitations or any type of twitch or anything in this area, Gary, my anxiety is and I have to remember I have to control my physical.
Nah, that's good.
Right. And be able to do those things. So, from one thing, it's like perspective. Your field is perspective, right? My mentality is, how do I find peace in the middle of that pressure? How do I find peace in the middle of that storm? How do I find peace in the middle of that project or opportunity that I have that I feel that pressure in? Yep. And for me, it's like calming my breathing and controlling my physical, right? And then mentally here, capturing that I belong here. I've earned this moment, right? Going back to the Brainland shot, I've earned this moment. This is what I prepared for. Yeah. And just let it fly, right? Shoot. Now, if he missed that, it's a different story. UConn doesn't come to the Final Four in Indianapolis. They don't make some noise, and their story is written a little bit different. Right. In this particular thing, and I want to shout out to these people that are taking the moments and taking the shots, and the shots didn't fall. For me, I say keep on shooting. Yeah. Keep on moving, because opportunity is going to be there, right? And so some people will give up, and there'll be a different email chain going into that kid's email, and social media look a lot different if he missed that shot. And nobody will even talk about the steal. They even gave him the opportunity. Right. And so I want to encourage people that are dealing with some of that pressure that's turning into power to make sure you still keep on shooting, keep on taking those opportunities. And for me, the final thing, Gary, would be to be able to visualize that moment. Right. See it coming, speak it into existence, right? Before you can win the moment, you talk about like seeing how this is going to be able to operate, especially in the field, seeing like I've seen this play before, I've seen this scheme before, been able to know, hey, this is where you need to be as a captain of the team, telling people where to be and position themselves to be able to make the best play. In business, preparing our people as leaders to be able to position themselves. Talk a little bit in closing about the visualizing the moments in the wins and in that preparation.
Yeah, there is a moment where even in my NFL career, I'm starting and I had like imposter syndrome. Like I have a really big game and I would be questioning myself like, am I this good? Yeah. Right? Am I like what's going on? But then I started like playing the games before the game. And then when an opportunity came to me, interception, tackle for loss, PBU, pass breakup, I visualized having that success. So it no longer became something that surprised me. It became something that I expected.
That's good.
So when I go into business conversations now, I expect us to have a great conversation. I visualize us coming to an agreement. So then when that happens, it's just playing out, the things that I've already like processed in my mind. Yeah. And it gives me confidence going into this opportunity because I've already saw the ending. And it just gives me then the practice of repetition is not, I didn't have to physically go through this thing in order for me to mentally see it. Yeah. I mentally saw and played this out in my head multiple times. So then when I physically get to do it, I feel like that repetition kicks in and it just seems like it's natural.
Yeah. So in closing, Gary, I think some of the key things I want to give the people, I always try to give them some takeaways, give them a blueprint, right?
Yeah, no doubt.
So the champion blueprint for me when it comes to taking this pressure and turning it to power, taking this pressure, turning it to opportunity, taking this pressure and really saying, hey, I prepare for this moment. Yeah. The first thing that I always say is like create consistency. Whatever your routine is, create a routine, prepare yourself. I think of the practices, the shots that he took, he takes to have those moments in that basketball game. I think about the opportunities that we have in business and in life with our family, like having a routine. And creating that consistency. And for me, it's more about consistency. Then I would also say pivot and let's reframe what this pressure actually is. Earlier in our episodes, we're this episode 29.
Yeah.
Early in our episode, you talked about, you made a statement that I still remember. You said, George, sometimes you got to take pressure and realize it's a privilege to have those opportunities, to have that moment, to be able to be on that field underneath that pressure, right? You're 4-1 and the game is on the line. We need to stop, and they're going for it. How do you position yourself? This is what you prepare for. And so some people to see it as pressure, I want you to reframe that mindset and say, I see it as a privilege. What are a couple of other takeaways that you can give them as a blueprint?
Not only game on the line, but then you have the matchup that you know that they're going to come in after. I'm the linebacker guarding Fred Taylor, guarding Christian McCaffrey. I know Tom Brady is looking at the running back coming out the backfield.
Yeah.
And my coaches trust me to be the guy to take care of it.
Yeah.
Right? Your employer, your boss trusts you to be that person.
Yeah.
You deserve to be there.
Yep.
And I think that's just a powerful moment to live in. And we often are humble and we often play small.
Yeah.
But then sometimes you got to pop your collar.
Yeah.
Right? There's sometimes in that pressure situation, you got to remember that you're like, yo, I'm
him.
I'm built for this.
Yeah.
Right? And I think that's what I would just remind you of. Like, yo, I get it. We're all humble. You know what I'm saying? We don't want to be that guy. But in some moments, you have to be that guy, that girl, and be like, yo, I'm him.
That's great. Listen, Champion Blueprint Podcast, we always kind of give you some tips. And today we want to encourage you, we want to inspire you, we want to empower you to have this belief that you can and you belong, right? You can win it. And we're not saying that you got to win the whole game. I'm saying champion yourself, champion your purpose, champion your mindset so that you can win the moment. Yeah. You prepare for it, put in the work, and don't shrink. It's good to be humble.
Yes.
But you're at the table. You belong. Until next time, appreciate you. Gary Brackett, the champ himself.
Yes.
George Rogers, appreciate you helping us bring some great content to you and your friends. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. Share it out to your network if this is something that's been empowering to you. Until next time on Champion Blueprint, the podcast. Let's go.
Let's go.